Okay, good morning, everybody. Let's start with the recording. So, we talked about the concept of S3, simple storage service, in the previous session. So, S3 is an object storage service from S3. It's the most resilient storage service out there in the entire world. Okay, as I mentioned, a lot of public cloud providers, they actually use S3 rather than competing with S3. It's that popular. Okay, so we talked about availability, durability, 11.9's durability, the popular 11.9's across all the storage classes. We talked about versioning, right? So let's talk about today. Let's start with a concept called static website hosting. So you guys know that if you want to build a static website at this point, based on the concepts that you know so far, you need probably an EC2 instance and install an Apache and put your HTML, CSS, and JavaScript files out there. You do not need any of that. So you can use your S3 bucket as your static website hosting. That's the beauty of it. As I was mentioning, a lot of these Hollywood movies, when they release a movie, so they will come up with a website. Okay, as I was mentioning, ironman3movie.com, that's it. Yeah. So they put their trailer there and cast information, a couple of images there. It's a pure static. It's publicly available. There's no dynamism. There's no login, nothing. There's no user-specific pages, any of that. There's no dynamism in that. It's a pure static. So in that case, for those kind of use cases, you do not need an EC2 instance and installing Apache, and you have to worry about the scale. Of course, you can solve that problem using a concept called auto scaling group. You do not need any of that. So put your HTML files, CSS files, JavaScript files, all of them into your S3 bucket, and make your S3 as a static website hosting. And then you provide your what should be your index document, meaning your home page. By default it's index.html, right? So provide your index.html location and an index document location, and that's it. You're done. The beauty is no servers here, pure S3, and the beauty is it will infinitely scale. You do not need to worry about servers, any of that. And it can go from 10 users to 10 million users per second, and then it will scale automatically. You don't have to worry about any of that. So that is called static website hosting. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do that. Use S3 bucket as static website hosting and infinitely scalable without worrying about any server. And undoubtedly, this is the easiest way to get your static website up and running. Period. So when you make your bucket as a static website hosting, so this is how the URL for your static website hosting will be. So your bucket name dot S3 website, S3-website .region.amazonaws.com. So the reason I'm saying is this: people who are serious about the exam, they may want to remember this. So your bucket name dot S3-website .region.amazonaws.com. So it's giving you that DNS name. Of course, it's not fancy name. If my Ironman3, so if my bucket name is ironman3.com, I will tell you later when we talk about a concept called Route 53, why you must have your bucket name. Your bucket name must match with your DNS name. So let's say ironman3movie.com.s3website.useast2.amazonaws.com. It's a lengthy, it's a non-vanity URL, right? But they provide this DNS name. If that works, you can keep it. But a lot of times, what we do is we create our own DNS name, like Ironman3movie.com, and then there is a service called Route 53, Amazon's DNS service. Will point to this S3 bucket, so that when you go to Ironman3movie.com, then you will be redirected to this bucket. Make sense?
Hey, Venkat, is the regular bucket URL and the static website hosting URL will be same, or it's something?
They are different. They are different. Look at this one, the bucket name. See this one? Your bucket name.s3.region.amazonaws.com. If you're looking for a specific object, okay, let's say mymovie.jpg, you have to say /mymovie.jpg, right? But here it's where is this guy here? Here, bucket name.s3website.region.amazonaws.com. Okay. So let's log into our AWS Management Console and let's figure out how to do that. And all the students in my previous classes, they have created their personal websites, okay, using S3 static website hosting. I recommend doing that also. You know, you're putting your learning into practice. Essentially, that's what you're doing. So let's say you're if you want to go for something like Ramu.com, right? So there is a reason why your bucket name must match with the DNS name. If you want to use your S3 bucket as your real website, then you want to keep it as same. Let's say nextstep.training. Okay, that's my website. So then my bucket name must match with the DNS name. If I want to use nextstep.training, nextstep.training, yes. Does it make sense? So your bucket name must match all the way until .com. Not for this purpose. I'm saying if you want this bucket name to be your DNS name, you don't have to worry about now, but later on when we talk about Route 53. Okay, so let's talk about, let's say, nextstep.training. This is already taken, so I can do a block call public access. Actually, I will not block all public access. I acknowledge, because I want to make it a static website hosting. I cannot block all public access for a static website hosting because it's all public. Create a bucket. Let's see. Nextstep.training. Okay, looks like it's available. Now this is objects can be public. Okay. Now click on the bucket. Go to properties. Go to static website hosting and see this one here. Nextstep.training, meaning my bucket name.s3website.useast2.amazonaws.com. So you can click on it. So by default, it looks for index.html. So unfortunately, it's not there. So let's make it static website hosting. Use this bucket as a host to host a website. And what is your index document? Meaning your home page. Index.html is my home page. If things go wrong, what do you want to do? You can create a custom error.html and then put it out here so that, sorry, oops, something happened. Please contact 1-800 number. Something like that. You can put your error page. Save it. That's it. It's that simple. Okay. So now what we'll do is let's upload a simple index.html file and click just upload. Just simple upload and index.html. Go here. Oops, access denied. Go here. 403 forbidden. So I found index.html, but I'm sorry, you don't have access, is what it's saying, this website. Okay, because we did not make that object public. because we did not make that object public. Just click on make public. That's it. My static website, that's exact content I have in my index.html. So let's open that. See that? So my static website is what I gave it. Welcome. Yeah. So you can upload it. You can upload. I did not enable versioning, so not a big deal. I don't need it. Upload index.html, upload it, and then I'll make this guy public again. Oops. Make public, go here. See that change? So this is your website. And I'm telling you, a lot of static websites right now in the world, they are S3 bucket based static websites. A lot of them. Okay. And I can show you one example. That's my own website. This website here, sonicvisionllc.com. If you look at it, all of this is a static content. It's a simple static website. Okay. What I did is I created this, this menu and these images. I built this. It's not fancy in any way. It's I'm not a designer by any means, right? So in fact, my friend and I, we had this built, by someone else. And then what I did later on, I built an Angular-based application, just for this simple menu, and then put this static content out there. And then I transpiled it into just plain, simple, vanilla JavaScript. So finally, I got my HTML, CSS, images, and JavaScript files. I dumped all of them into S3 bucket, and I own this bucket. How did I get this? Well, I own this bucket, sonicvisionllc.com. So your bucket name also should end with all the way .com. Then you will be able to configure your DNS, meaning your Route 53, to point to it. I'll talk about all of that later. But essentially, you can build. This is my own example, but there are a lot of examples out there. A lot of these, Hollywood movies. That's how they build. Make sense, guys? So you can. A lot of my students in the previous batches, what they did was they built their. They created their index.html, and then they put a small menu there, and then they uploaded their photos, and then they using the simple HTML, CSS, uploading the images, they built beautifully. Any questions at this point?
One question, Venkat, like on making public the object, giving a public access to the objects in the bucket. So first you uploaded a index.html, make public, and you override that with other one.
Yep.
Public. So is it different compared to, suppose if you enable the version? So if you every time you need to make it public for the version files also, or?
Yes, you need to make it public for version files also. So versioning and non-versioning, there's not much difference in a way. In this case, right? Even in the case of versioning, if it's the same index.html is uploaded, you'll be able to see only the latest version, unless you ask for specifically for the previous version. Question mark version ID equal to. Remember that? Okay. So you will have to make it public. But the point is, that's my next topic. Okay. The point is that Subbu was it?
Yes, Subbu.
Okay. So the point is, let's say if I have 100 objects, and you are saying it's a static website, so that means every single object there must be public anyway. So then I'm uploading a HTML file, making it public. I'm uploading a CSS file, making it public. I'm uploading an image, make it public. So I'm uploading 100 files and I'm making public. It's not a good way, right? It's not the efficient way of doing it, right? So by no means, you don't want to do that. So how can I make this bucket itself public in a way that every single object in that bucket is public? Every single object in this bucket must be public. Not only the snapshot right now, all the future objects also. Every object that gets uploaded into this will automatically be made public, because that's my scenario here, right? In all fairness, for the static website hosting. So how can I do that? Well, at the bucket level, in the permission section, there is a concept called bucket policy. So there is a concept called bucket policy in S3 that is one way of controlling access to the bucket, like who can access, what resources, what level, can they read, can they write, can they read ACLs, can they write ACLs, all of that. That's in the bucket policies. So go to your bucket and then go to permissions. So how do I do my objective here is that how can I make this public so that every single object when I upload it, it's automatically be made public, because it's my static website hosting is the problem statement. So how can we solve that? So go to permissions and click on bucket policy. See here. So bucket policy, understand it. There are two kinds of policies. I'll talk about IAM in a few minutes. But there is a concept called policy. Policy is nothing but a simple JSON document that is a policy document, essentially, that tells you who will have access or who has access to what resources and what they can do on those resources. Meaning, can they read it, can they write it, etc. That's all it is. So we can write our policy document, okay, but we don't want to write. So we can generate it. Let's use this, see here, policy generator. Let's use this policy generator to generate it. But before that, let me tell you one thing. There is a concept called ARN, Amazon Resource Name here. So every single Amazon resource, it doesn't matter whether it's an EC2 instance, whether S3 bucket, or later on we'll talk about, when we talk about the key management service, we'll talk about key. So there are a lot of resources that you'll be building over the period, right? For each one of them, there is a unique ARN will be there, Amazon Resource Name. So look at this one. To our bucket also we have an ARN. This is our ARN, AWS:/S3::, nextstep.training. That's our bucket name. So this is our ARN. ARN stands for Amazon Resource Name that uniquely identifies a resource within the entire Amazon ecosystem. Okay, let's copy that. We need that. So when you create a policy, so my policy, what I'm going to do now is, hey, I want to grant read permission on all the objects within this resource ARN. That is what I'm doing. So I want to give read access to all the objects in this bucket. Rather than saying in this bucket, I'm saying in this resource with the ARN. Does that make sense? So that's how we define it. Let's go to click on policy generator. I already clicked on it. It gave me here. So select a type of policy. What do you want to do? It's a S3 bucket policy. That's what we are interested in it. Effect. Are you allowing it? Or are you denying it? Yes, I want to allow. Who can access it? Who do you want to allow? Well, I want to allow everyone, meaning every single person meaning public access. Every single person I want to allow it. Okay, what do you want to allow? Amazon S3, sure, Amazon S3. What is that? What is the specific actions that he can do? Well, as I told you, Amazon S3's biggest strength is the REST APIs that they built upon. So there is all these are actions that you can do. See this one, create a bucket, create access point, delete access point, delete a bucket, delete object. Okay, so every single file inside a bucket is called object, and every object has something called a key. It has two things, key and the content. So key is your file name. Typically when you upload a file, that file name will be taken as a key. Make sense? So what I want to do is, for my static website hosting, I want to do a get object. I want to be able to get object, get the content of the object. So go down here, look for get object, get object, get object. There you go, get object. So in Amazon S3, I want to grant get object to everyone. I want to allow get object to everyone on this particular resource, meaning on this particular bucket. So this is the Amazon resource name. I copied this Amazon resource name, right? I'm putting it here. So next step, right? This is my ARN. So every resource within the Amazon ecosystem is identified by their ARN, Amazon resource name. And now once I add this one, add statement, wonderful. This is the statement, guys. So your policy will have a multiple statements. I added one statement here. What is that statement saying? Well, allow S3 get object to everyone on this particular bucket. On this particular, I'm not saying bucket because bucket is one of the resources. I'm saying on this particular resource. Make sense? So this is a UI based, but once I click on generate policy, it will give me a simple JSON file. Let's pay attention to this one. So this is called policy. This is a policy document, a JSON policy document. So policy document is nothing but a simple JSON document. It's an ID. It's a policy number, version number, statement. It will have, you can have an array of statements here, right? Within that, so you're saying what's your statement ID, and action is S3 get object is the action, and you are allowing it to everyone on this particular resource. What is that resource? Is my bucket. So what I'm saying is I'm allowing get resource to everyone in this bucket, meaning every single object here on this particular resource will be allowed to everybody. The get object will be allowed to everyone. So copy this guy, okay? Copy this one, this JSON statement, paste it here, and then click on save. Oops. Action does not apply to any resource in statement. Let's go back. S3 bucket policy, allow principal, okay. Amazon S3, do a get object. I think I missed a slash there. Get object, okay. And then Amazon resource name. Oh, sorry. Let's go and put the Amazon resource name this time. What I'm missing is Amazon resource name, your policy /star, meaning, sorry, this is not the policy, this is bucket name, right? Your bucket name /star, meaning everything inside the bucket. That's what you have to specifically specify the resource, right? So this is my bucket /star, meaning everything in the bucket. Okay, that's what I missed. So go pick up your ARN, go here, and then /star. Then if you add a statement, so essentially it will generate the policy. Of course, I have to delete the previous one, but you don't need to do this for simple. See this? I got it. Okay, so you don't need to regenerate it. You can go back if you're very comfortable with JSON. Go, you can hand write this one. It doesn't matter one way or the other. Saved it. Very good. So this bucket has public access now. So what it means is I don't need to make these individual objects public anymore. Once I upload an object in the bucket, every single object will be public. Get object will be allowed to everyone, to every single object within that bucket. That's exactly how we wanted it to be. Let's go ahead and now upload probably an image or something. Or let's say, we did logo, right? Just upload. That's it. Go look at it. Hey, it's available. I did not make it public. Okay. So this is my logo maker PNG, right? I'll go to my static website hosting. This is my website. And then I'll go /PNG. Very good. Make sense? Now go ahead and put your complete website into it. Upload. Go ahead and upload your CSS files, images, JavaScript files, HTML files, everything. You got your website. You got your website up and running. In what, less than 5 minutes? Absolutely. You can do that. An infinitely scalable static website in 5 minutes. Of course, if you have all the content ready, meaning assuming that you have your HTML, JS files, CSS files, all of that locally readily available, and you're uploading it. Okay, I can take questions. So that's about the bucket policy.
Hey Venkat, this is Kishore here. I have a question about the object. Let's say, we make the bucket the public, right? Using the policy. So let's say if I want to make an object within that bucket, want to make it private, can we do that by using policy or in any other means?
Yep, you can definitely do that. And your policy can be pretty complicated. Okay, you can write almost pretty much code. Okay, you can go to any level. Policy using JSON, you can do it really, because you can add multiple statements there, right?
Yeah, in this case, in the first step, we are saying that allow all the objects.
Mm-hmm.
And we have another statement saying that okay, don't make this public, this specific object. So
Mm-hmm.
So does the allow override deny, or deny override allow?
So what it will do is it will consolidate the rules together, and then come to a conclusion. Let's say there are 1,000 objects, you allowed everybody, but there is a specific deny rule that says you're denying only for this guy. So it will consolidate everything and decides whether it should be allowed or not.
Okay, thanks, Venkat.
Yep. Okay, that's about static website hosting. It's that simple. It's very straightforward, and it's very, very powerful, very powerful. Okay, and going into the exam, I highly recommend remembering this one. Okay, and then understand the bucket policy. So bucket policy. Or Indian, later on I'll talk about IAM policy, but bucket policies are IAM policy. These are JSON documents where you can give permissions. You can write either allow permissions or deny permissions on a specific resource. Every resource in Amazon is identified using this ARN, Amazon resource name. Okay. Excellent.
Venkat?
Yes.
So we are uploading each one file at a time into the bucket, right? So let's say if I have a project that I want to upload, so there is this option to create folder, but upload can take in a folder and as such upload everything at a time, or do we need to create the? Okay.
We will talk about that. That's my next topic. So you will not do it for all practical purposes, what you are doing right now in Amazon Amazon Management Console, that's not how you deal with it in real life. Okay. So there are a couple of options. I'm going to show that to you. Even your code can talk to it. Okay. Recursively, your code can do it. So we'll take a look at it.
Sure.
Look at that. Yes. Okay. Let me stop recording here.